Okay. Let me know when you're good and we'll get going at 9 o'clock.
Yep, we are good.
Okay. Thanks, everyone, and welcome to our Wednesday night Team B call. We're so excited to interview the famous Jake Kelly. What's so cool about the story of Jake is I remember when she was much younger, sitting with her at conference and getting to know her. And I think at one time when I first met her, she was like grade 12, and asking her the question if, she would follow her mommy's footsteps. And it was kind of like a hell no, I have a whole other path planned for myself. And she's Waldorf based, so she grew up in the Waldorf system, and my girls did 5 years of Waldorf. So we had lots in common. And I always just enjoyed getting to know Jake over the years and learning her journey and passion. And so tonight we want to really hear Jake's heart to ask her what shifted, right? Like what ended up shifting for her. So she does have a beautiful story. She is a national marketing director. She is a 50 Club. She just got married to her love of her life, who is a pilot. And it's so beautiful to follow her on Facebook. And she really is the brains behind the 10-Day Shred. She falls within the Millennium Group, which, as we talked on our last call, is one of the largest groups in the world, next to the baby boomers. And so really they are our future. Jake and her team of Millennium, they are our future. They are our future leaders. So very, very important for us to satisfy our millenniums. And I love how Jake transitioned from the T30 to the Shred 10 and totally get why she did that. And maybe she can kind of explain a little bit more about that. But I'm just going to pass it over to Jake. We usually run our calls for about 30 minutes, Jake, maybe 20 minutes, and then we do a Q&A. So I'm just going to hand it over to you, Jake, so you can kind of share your heartfelt story and your journey from being a child of the product and watching your mom, grow into 100 Club and watching her beautiful life unfold. And then when you decided to say yes.
Okay, cool. Just my first little comment I wanted to make when you're talking about millennials. I was just at the GoPro event in Vegas last weekend, and Eric Worre gave a stat that was really astounding. 7 out of 10 people who are involved in network marketing, which is what we do, are millennials. 7 of 10. That's huge. This age group is looking for this. We're ready. We want it. We don't have any issues with network marketing or pyramid schemes or whatever. We have no baggage around that, and we are ready for it. So just so you know, like that's a huge, huge market for you guys. So so I have been I've been around the Juice Plus company for 22 years. I'm 29 now, and just for you, if you don't know, millennials are 18 to 35, and so I've been using Juice Plus since I was 7, and I grew up playing tons of sports. I'll share my product story and then my business story. I grew up playing tons of sports, played 3 sports in high school, went on to play 2 sports in Division I, which is the U.S.'s top level in college sports. And, I never really got what Juice Plus was doing for me. My friends, like, why do you take Juice Plus? How do you know what it's even done for you? You don't even know life without Juice Plus. Maybe nothing's been happening, and you just are like taking this thing for no reason. And I didn't really have anything to say about that. I was like, I don't know. My mom makes me take it, and so I wasn't really until I got to college. First year, at the end of my freshman year, all of my teammates had been sick or injured that year, in and out of the training room, not able to practice, not able to play in games, and I wasn't experiencing any of that. So as a freshman, I was a starter, and I got to play the most of anyone on the team because I was healthy, and that was huge. We work so hard and train so hard to play at this top level, and then to get there and to be able to and to miss out is really a pretty tough thing to go through. So it was then, and I really look back over my entire career, and as a 3-sport high school athlete, 2-sport college athlete, I never missed a game or even a practice due to illness or injury. And that was something that's like virtually unheard of. And I wasn't in better shape than anyone else. I wasn't eating any better food than anyone else. You're all eating the same terrible dining hall food. I wasn't more athletic. I didn't have better genes, nothing. The only thing that I was doing differently was taking Juice Plus. And, we know through the research that's what's happening for athletes and for all of us, is that our immune system is stronger, we recover faster, we perform better when we are using Juice Plus. So that was huge for me in terms of my belief for myself in the product. And, as Nicole said, I had zero interest in building the business. I'd watched my mom build this business. I got the value of it. I really got that my parents created this unbelievable life. And that was, also became clear when I was in college. My parents came to every game I ever played in college. They flew to every away game, drove to every home game, and no other kids' parents got to do that. All of my teammates' parents thought that my parents were drug dealers or something. They're like, how do they have the time and the money to be able to do this? And that was really eye-opening for me as well. And so I got the value of the business and becoming an entrepreneur and really creating time and financial freedom. But watching my parents do this business, talking on the phone, doing trade shows, cold calling people, like talking to the person in the grocery store, I was like, I'm never going to do that in a million years ever, ever. And so it wasn't, and also as a 21-year-old, trying to talk to other 20-year-olds about fruits and vegetables in a capsule was like not cool. They're like, I want to buy beer instead. I'm like, I know, I would too. It was not appealing to my age group, and I didn't want to talk to my friends' parents. Like, that's what I started doing, and I'm like, I want to work with my friends. Like, I don't want to work with people who are 20 years older than me. Like, I'm not interested in that. Like, I'm just not. Like, I want to hang out with kids my age and do something that's fun. And so it wasn't until two things happened. It was like a perfect storm of things. Meet Your Ray came out with Transform 30, and we started learning about Eric Worre's GoPro skill set and the introduction of social media. So I guess three things. So those three things. Transform 30 was huge because I really got that this was something that my age group really wanted. It was a program. And, I had kids on my team, are 17, 18, 19 years old, and we'd have like 3 practices in a day. We'd lift and condition and then have a regular practice. And then girls would go to the fitness center afterward to run on the treadmill to like try and avoid the freshman 15. Like, these top athletes were exercising 25 hours a week, and outside of that, going to exercise more to like try and, stay ahead of that. And that's huge. So any way that we can help people of all ages, but for me, young people, stay healthy and stay in shape and in a really, really great, healthy way through fruits and vegetables, like that was huge. So that was super eye-opening to me. And, I didn't think that I needed to do Transform 30. I was a vegan. I was exercising a ton, taking Juice Plus my whole life, capsules and shakes. I'm like, well, I got to do it so I can talk about it, but nothing's going to change for me. And within a couple of weeks, I noticed, increased performance, increased recovery. I was performing better at 26 than I was when I was 18. And then still as a 29-year-old, I'm performing better every year than I was when I was 18 in my prime. And it's because of T30 and Shred 10. And my peers are falling off because they're getting injured and sick and they can't recover fast enough. So they're not able to play anymore. And I am. So that's another thing that's been huge. And then with social media, I don't have to talk on the phone and none of my team will you can text me, my team all you want. We'll get on Zoom, but we will not talk on the phone. We just will not do it no matter what. Like, you should see how many voicemails are in my voicemail thing that are unlistened to. I won't even listen to them. So just for those of you who are trying to recruit millennials, do not call them, text them. So that was huge, learning how to use social media and, do this by text really allowed me to explode my business. And so when that kind of combination of things came together, it took me about 10 months to go from sales coordinator to national marketing director. And I was able to retire from the job that I was working and, get to choose what I want to do. At 26, I quit, working for a regular job. And it was really, it was huge. It was so powerful for me to be able to have choice. And I know so much, so kids my age, we have this aversion to being told what to do. I think more so than a lot of other generations. And it was hard enough to play for coaches, in sports. And I knew that having a boss was going to be a real struggle for me. I'm a real hard worker, but I'm also an independent thinker, and being told what to do is not going to happen. So the other thing that I had to do for my age group is you have to approach them in a different way than you do other people. And I think it's becoming more and more with other generations, but that it goes along with that thing of not wanting to be told what to do. And so trying to sell something to a Gen Y is never going to happen. And so the way that I do business is very, it follows along the lines of Eric Worre's scripts, based off his scripts. But I've found that asking a Gen Y-er, if I send you something, will you listen to it? What time, when can I follow up with you for this? They're gonna be like, don't, I'll tell you kind of attitude. So it's a very different approach that you take with Gen Ys. So, I've been using T30 for a couple of years. I got to national marketing director. And then I really realized that my team, although my age group loved T30, our attention span is short. And so I felt like a shorter program would be awesome, and a more intense program would be awesome, especially, I was coming off the holidays and, feeling like really sluggish. Can you hold on 1 second? I'm gonna tell my husband to be quiet. Hold on. We're having a dinner party, some people over, and he's cooking. So sweet, but it's loud. So I just took Dr. Mitra Ray's guidelines, and instead of all the places where she said reduce, I just said none, and I said for 10 days. And I found that I did it for myself. I just wanted to see like how it made me feel, and I was like needed a reset. And I didn't know how it was what the results were gonna be. I didn't know how anyone else was gonna like the program, but I saw huge results in how I felt, especially how I felt, and again my performance went up. And I then got some of my team to do it with me, and some of my customers, and just sort of snowballed from there. And what's awesome about it is that people only have to worry about one weekend, like getting through one weekend without drinking alcohol or whatever. And for my age group, it felt really doable. And now I have girls on my team that do the weekday shred. So Monday to Friday they shred, and then on the weekends they take off. And it's not that people like, go like be crazy and eat pizza and ice cream or whatever. It's like they add back some alcohol or some coffee on their days when they're not shredding or whatever. So it makes it's super sustainable still, and it's a short enough time period that like I can keep the young people's attention. And it's not just a program for young people. My mom loves it. I have a lot of older generations that love it as well. But it's just like a newer, fresher look at T30 and a shorter thing in case someone doesn't want to commit to 30 days. What I found with my age group is like 30 days is a lot because we have weddings or birthday parties or whatever, and to commit to not doing any of that stuff for 30 days was a little bit of a challenge. So the 10-day shred the Shred 10 just made a lot of sense for us. And in terms of business growth, I saw a huge jump. I had a girl go from SC to Q in 1 month, and from SSC to Q in 1 month, and from SC to FSC in that same month as a result of getting people on Shred 10. And the biggest thing about it is the customer care piece that I was lacking with T30, because with the 10-day shred, you have to kind of be on top of them in order for people to comply and get the results that they want to see. Because 10 days is like, if they don't do it exactly for 10 days, they're not going to see any results, and they're not going to stay with it. And so it actually forced us into better customer care. And then just the last thing that I wanted to chat about, I know I have just 5 more minutes or so. The last thing that I wanted to touch on is this has sort of revolutionized my business just in the last couple of weeks, actually the last week or so. Completely opened my mind to how we recruit people. And I did a training with my team just a couple nights ago, and it's about like how to make recruiting easier, because recruiting teams should be easy with how amazing our product is and how amazing our company is and how like what we offer. Like we offered this just incredible opportunity, and recruiting people should be easy, but for so many people it's so hard, myself included. And so coming back from GoPro, what I kept hearing over and over and over was this idea of your vision for what you're doing. And it's more than just our story and more than just like our why. Our why is personal. Our why is like, this is why I'm doing this. But a vision is something that's bigger than you and something that other people can fit into. So we live in a world where people want to know what's in it for them. And that's just our, human nature is like, how is this going to benefit me? And so often we're like, this is what I'm trying to do, and I would love you on my team because this is what I'm trying to do, and I think you'd be awesome at it because of this, and here's why I think you should do this. Here's what I want, essentially. And shifting that to figuring out what it is that they want and how they can get what they want by being part of what your vision is. And so your vision is something that's like for me, like my vision is, it's not gonna be clear right off the bat. It's gonna take some time to kind of develop what your vision is, and getting clear about like who it is that you want to work with, and what type of person you want to be around, and what you're trying to create in terms of how you affect yourself, your family, your community, and just like the people that you're engaging with on a regular basis. And for me, I realized like my vision is to create a team of women that say, yes, I can, where we live in a world where so much so much of what's being communicated to women is that you can't do stuff. You know, we still earn 70 cents on the dollar to men. Women everywhere are like tearing each other down and trying to beat each other out at stuff. And this is one of the few places in the world, in our society, where that doesn't happen. We earn the same as men. Women are supporting each other and building each other up. And so my vision is to create a team of women that say, hell yeah, I can. Like, don't tell me I can't do anything. Don't tell me I can't do it. Watch me. And so I prefer to work with young female athletes who have that kind of mentality. So I'm super clear that's my vision. And so when I think about talking to someone about my vision, like, I'm creating this team of these powerhouse women who are taking over and showing the world that they can do whatever they want. And that is such a powerful place to come from, as opposed to like talking to someone about my Juice Plus business. Like, come join my Juice Plus business sounds so much different than come join this bigger vision. And I think you fit into this vision because of this, and here's what it can solve for you. Here's the problem that it can solve for you. And that has like revolutionized how I think about my business, how I talk to people about my business, how my people are drawn to me and our business. And so one way to kind of figure out what your vision is think about like, who are you and what is it that you do differently than anyone else? Like, why should someone work with you instead of someone else in Juice Plus? Or why should someone work with our company instead of another network marketing company? Like, what's your special sauce? Like, what is it that you do that other people don't do? And that's really where you can start to work on what your vision is. And, sharing your vision is such a powerful thing. And so as you're kind of like going through life while you're at the gym or whatever you're doing, like, think about it. Like, what is it that fires you up about what we're doing? Like, what is it that gets you lit up? And for young people, like, I don't have kids. I don't like kids. There's not a big why for me. I don't have kids. I don't care. I mean, I care about kids, but I don't have my own kids. So like, I don't like that's not what is appealing to me. So you want to figure out what it is that's important to each person that you're talking to. And for me, I don't have this big, like, powerful why. Like, young people don't necessarily have a big, powerful why yet. We don't have kids. We haven't like been through the hard parts of life yet necessarily. Maybe some people have, but like, for me, I wanted to be able to get a new truck, and I have a girl on my team. She's 25 and she's like, I want to be able to like travel and hang out with my friends and make money. I'm like, that's your vision. Like, that's of your vision. It doesn't have, like, that's what young people want. And so I got a question about like, how do you, as a young person, how do you deal with people saying, not respecting you because you're young? Well, talk to other young people. Like, if the people that are older around you are saying like they're not like paying attention to you because you're young, don't talk to them. That's not who you're looking for. You're looking for people who are like going to lock arms with you and feel inspired by what you're doing and that you want to hang out with. Like, that's who you're looking for. So figure out. I know we so often want to say, I'll recruit everyone. I'll have men, women, athletes, non-athletes, like moms. But the more, it sounds counterintuitive, but the more specific you can get about who you're looking for, the easier it's going to get. So I'm super clear. Female athlete, young, fired up, like has kind of like a badass attitude, like doesn't necessarily follow rules. Like, that's my person I'm looking for. And that helps me to get clear and attract that specific person. When we're so broad, it's like we don't know what direction we're going in. So getting really clear about who it is that you're trying to work with and what your vision is and what you're creating for yourself and for your life and for your team. That is what is going to bring people to you. No matter what age you are, no matter like what part of life you're in. Like, if you have a clear, strong vision that gets you, like, when you are excited about what you're talking about, someone's going to be excited about it. And just one last thing that I'm going to say that I learned from being at GoPro is, actually, this isn't from GoPro. I've been listening to Jim Rohn speak and Dale Carnegie, a couple of books by him. And he said 15% of being good at business is technical, like what we know about Juice Plus, how, like, the skills we know about doing business, how we like do presentations, and 85% is how we interact with people and how people feel when they're around us. And it was like, so, and like, it makes sense. Like once he said it, I was like, okay, duh. Like, we're emotional people, we're emotional beings. Like, I get that. But until he said those numbers, I was like, it totally blew my mind. So like, the more we can focus on like, how do we help other people? How do we influence other people? How do we feel about other people? Like, how are we treating other people, and how are we engaging with them? Are we excited to be around them? Do we like get totally fired up when we're talking to them, or are we kind of flat because we're nervous about what we're talking about? So that's like a huge area to be taking a look at. we are emotional beings, and we make decisions based off of emotions, not like based off of Juice Plus research and here's what money you can make. It's like how can you appeal to them emotionally? We're trying to influence people to buy Juice Plus and to be on our teams and to change their life. So you have to figure out what already influences them. What do they care about, and how can what we're doing impact them in a positive way in the area that they're passionate about. So find out what already influences them. And in order to figure that out, in order to figure out like what's important to someone else, you got to ask good questions. And if you're not sure about how to do that, my mom did a training on YouTube called Magic Words. If you search on YouTube, Joy Kelly Magic Words, she's got a training about how to ask good questions. And that's really the place to start. So get your vision clear. Your vision is like the foundation of where you come from when you talk to people. That's like the basis of where you're coming from. This is what you're trying to accomplish. And then through asking high-yielding questions, you figure out how it is that they can fit into your vision, and you show them what's in it for them. Okay, that's all I got. 20 minutes exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, Jake. That was amazing. I was like taking notes here. I love that, like your special sauce and what lights them up. It's so true. I love it. Oh, Stacy said amaze balls.
Yeah, I would love some questions. If you guys have questions, I would love to answer anything you guys got it.
I'll leave it open. You guys, we got it for about 10 minutes.
Like the chat.
Can you maybe talk a little bit about your texting challenge? Are you still doing the texting challenge? We do have your script on our Team B Facebook page. I do refer a lot of people there to say start there, read your text, and then we'll work on it together so we can come up with your own kind of verbiage. Are you still working on texting? And
yeah, definitely still working on the texting thing, and I use the same scripts that I've been using all along. And the one thing that's changed a little bit with this kind of conversation about vision is that it's a little bit funny. So if you're approaching someone about the business and you're talking about your vision, and then they're like, yeah, I'm interested, and then the first thing you send them is a product video, it's like it's come too narrow focus. So what I found that works really well is if you send them one of those, we have all these like really cool like inspirational business videos that don't talk about how our business works. It just talks about what people have been able to create for themselves. And there's an Australian one that's really awesome. So if you've talked about your vision and how powerful it is, then you send them this video that's like, here's what you can create. Here's how you can create what your vision is through this business. And then you say, okay, and here's the tool that we use to do that, which is Juice Plus. So you got to go from like wider down to narrower, which is the opposite of what I've been doing. I've been going like, here's the products, and now let's talk about the business. So it's kind of been a reverse thing, and that seemed to work better if you're leading with your vision.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Jake.
Yeah.
So it seems to me I attract women, like my daughter-in-law is just 30. And so, of course, when it's family, it's even trickier. She has 4 kids. She's doing yoga. She's doing da. And she just says to me, I'm slow and steady. And so I don't push. I've learned over the years, you cannot push anybody in this business. I've also attracted somebody that's 40, has twins, and got together with 2 of her friends. And I still not getting that magic that's, they're like, I don't want to start until January. So here's my thing. If I had what you had, and not comparing, but some of that knowledge, I'd be able to say, you know what? The people that start right away, they're the ones that get going. You don't have to wait till Christmas is over, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So when you have somebody that's saying to you, well, I don't want to start till January, because people have this imagination that somehow they're going to do better come January. And I don't believe that anymore. I think if you get in there and start right away, it's magical. So what would you use for a verbiage to say to them? Here's...
Yeah, that's a good question. And sometimes no matter what you say, that's what someone's going to do. Sometimes it's just where people are at. But the thing that I've been learning is that if you really can figure out that thing that is like driving them, the thing that they need, and you can show them how this can fix that or fill that need, that's what's going to get someone to go right now. So, and a lot of times we think, you know, there's two things that people need when they come into our business. They want better health or they want need more money. But there's so many other things. There's so many other reasons that people would want this business, you know, and maybe they don't have benefits. Maybe they like need benefits because they don't have them, or their husband's or their benefits suck, or maybe their husband's benefits suck. Maybe they want to leave a legacy for their kids. You know, they want to leave something for their kids. They want to build an income that they can leave for their kids. Maybe they want to have fun. Maybe they want to have some friends that they can like travel with and have fun with and be around like-minded people and a great group of girls. You know, maybe, you know, so that you got to figure out what it is that is important to them. And so I have a good example of this. I have a girl on my team who has a friend of hers who's on her dream team, who she'd love to have work with her. This girl's a nurse. Her name's Chelsea. She's a nurse. And my rep has been trying to talk to this girl about health for like 3 years. She's like, she must be interested in the health side because she's a nurse. And like, there's hammering the health side. And this girl is like not interested. So this prospect of hers just had a baby 2 months ago. And we went over to my rep's house and we had holiday dinner just to like be together as friends. And I started asking this girl about, you know, when do you have to go back to work? She said, end of January. Are you excited? No, like I really don't want to. Well, why do you have to go back to work? I need benefits because my husband doesn't get benefits. And she said, do you get benefits through your husband? And I said, no, my husband actually is on my benefits plan because mine's better than his corporate one. And she was like mind blown. And so like, and she was like asking all these questions. How do you get that? How can I? And so like, because my rep hadn't asked the appropriate questions, hadn't asked enough questions to figure out what was important to her, this girl had like not jumped on it. So you got to find the thing that makes them go, I need that. Like, I need that right now. And everybody has something like that. Everyone does it. And so it's your job to figure out what that is. And that's by asking high yielding questions and getting into conversation. So that's, I think how you can kind of get people to, and some people just won't. Some people are like going to be slow just because, but other people you need to find that thing that's going to light the fire in them.
Yeah. And I think you're right. It's asking those good questions, because one of the ladies was a nurse. And she said, like, I am not interested in doing a business. But at the end, it was like, you know, well, maybe this could be a business. So, you know, it's tweaking that, asking those good questions. And sometimes, yeah, I'm going to have to go on your mom's magic words again. I think that'll. Yeah,
because I wasn't good at asking questions. And like, people always say that ask good questions. I'm like, what questions? Like, I don't know. What am I supposed to ask them? I don't know. Like, it's weird. And so it wasn't until I like watched the magic words training. I've been listening to some books on tape by different entrepreneurs. And like, the more you can like get that stuff into your brain, the more natural it becomes when you're asking questions and really finding out what's important to someone else, and not what I want to come out of it. What do they want to come out of it? And how can I show them that they can get that? You know.
So I have a question. Hi, Jake.
Hi.
So I work at a university, so I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of you guys. And I loved what you said, like, because you totally nailed it. I only text. I can only text my staff. It's the only way I can get a hold of them. But so you said, don't ask them to get back to you. Just let them get back to you, like, when they're ready. Should I still just send a nice little text and go, hey, like, you know what I mean? Like, because you still have to follow up somewhere.
You say, but like Eric Worre's thing is like, so if I send you a video, will you watch it? So great. So when are you going to watch it by? So this is when you're going to watch it. And I'll call you that. Like, you'll lose them. They'll be like, I don't care enough. So and the thing about like Gen Yers is that we are so used to buying stuff online. Like, I buy stuff off Instagram all the time. People older are like, that's so weird. So like if we want something, we know we want it, we're going to buy it. So like, you don't have to talk us into it. Like, we probably need to see some information and some follow up, because we might forget. You might forget that you sent the message or whatever. But like, there's no like, you don't need to tell me to get back to you if I want it, because I will.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, great.
Hey, Jake, I've got a question. What does your DMO look like? So you can set everybody's
that's another thing that I've revamped since coming home from GoPro, is this idea of creating your baseline, which is like a non-negotiable things that you do every single day in, day out, no matter what. And it's our job as individuals to motivate and inspire ourselves. That's not our upline job. It's not our sidelines job. It's not our downlines job. It's not our spouse's job. It's not our kid's job. It's your own job. And not every single day you're going to wake up feeling super pumped about this. Sometimes you're going to be like, I'm not doing this today. and you have to. So some things that I have developed for myself is that I watch my baseline is to watch a short Juice Plus video every morning, because even though I've been using Juice Plus for 22 years, I've heard every doctor ever speak about it. I didn't get the value of it. When I watch a video, I'm like, oh my God, everyone needs to be on this. And like, it's so much more inspiring when you like have just seen something. You're like, oh my God, why isn't everyone taking this? Then I watch some sort of short video about our industry, or an inspirational video, whether it's Tony Robbins or Eric Worre, or, you know, some other kind of, you know, entrepreneurial inspiration video. And then you can read 10 pages of a book that's about our industry, or, you know, listen to it. So I drive a lot. And so I just switched from listening to the radio to listening to books on tape, because it's added no time to my life. And like I switched to when I'm on a plane, because I fly a lot, I usually like play games and listen to music on my phone. I started reading hard copy books and making notes, and it's like added no time to my life, but it's completely changed my mindset around my business and around how I talk to people and interact with people. And then I send 10 messages a day is kind of the baseline that I give. And then anything above that is awesome. But when you get that stuff into your brain, the videos and the books and stuff, it inspires you to move forward with your business, because you just can't even help it. And some of the books that I've been reading and listening to are like the old classics, like all the new books. There are good new books, but all the new books are based off of these old cool books. They're around because they work. They're what the bigs have listened to. So it's, you know, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's anything Jim Rohn. He's got a bunch of stuff on network marketing, because that's where he started. Think and Grow Rich. You know, that's like such an old school book, but it's still so relevant. It's still so relevant. So those are some of the ones that I'm listening to now. And those are things that you can read over and over. And GoPro is something that you need to be reading over and over, listening to, studying the skills. You know, we are in an industry that has a very few skills and takes hardly any training to learn. And, you know, it's like, but there are still skills you have to learn. It's like, when I hear people that are like, yeah, I read GoPro once, it's like someone trying to play basketball and they're like, yeah, I shot for 30 minutes today, and then getting pissed off that they're not good shooters because that's all that they did. You know, it's like you read GoPro once and then you're like mad because your business isn't doing what you want it to do, because you're not refining and perfecting your skills. So just like with any other profession, you have to continue to get better and refine your skills. And to do that, you got to keep reading and keep practicing and keep learning. And you know, reading those books are the way that we do this, and practicing on people with your team and with prospects is how we get better at those skills.
That's awesome. Thanks, Jake.
Am I on mute here?
Nope, you're on. You're allowed.
Okay, perfect. Okay, it's 9:30, so I'm going to respect everybody's time. Thank you so much, Jake, for getting on our call tonight and sharing those amazing tips. I took a ton of notes. Always great to hear of what young people are doing in this business to grow and to build their business. And you're definitely a role model for the world with being a young Gen Y and making it happen. So thank you so much for the inspiration. And
yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's so fun.
Awesome. We'll see you at conference, and happy holidays, Jake.
Thanks, you guys too. Bye, guys.
Ciao.